My cousin stole my grandmother's jewelry, so I sold her confession to the whole family. My grandmother passed away last year. She was 86 and one of the kindest people I've ever known. When she died, she left behind a small but precious jewelry collection. Not because it was worth a fortune, though some pieces were, but because they had sentimental value. There was a pearl necklace she wore at her wedding, a gold bracelet my grandfather gave her on their 25th anniversary, and a few rings she'd had since she was a young woman. She told us countless times that when she was gone, her jewelry should be split between her 3 granddaughters, me, my sister, and my cousin Tara. After her funeral, my aunt, Tara's mom, offered to keep the jewelry box in her house until things settled down. I didn't think much of it at the time. I trusted her. A month later, my sister called me in a panic. She had just visited my aunt's house and asked to see the jewelry. When my aunt opened the box, more than half the pieces were gone, including the pearl necklace and the gold bracelet. My aunt looked surprised and said, "Oh, maybe your grandmother misplaced them before she passed. You know how old people forget things." That was my first red flag. My grandmother might have forgotten where she put her glasses or her TV remote, but her jewelry was always in the same place, her top dresser drawer. I started asking around. My aunt acted like I was being dramatic. She said, "You're obsessing over things instead of grieving properly. It's just jewelry." She knew it wasn't just jewelry. These were family heirlooms. Then Tara got defensive out of nowhere. "Why are you making this about you? Grandma loved me too. Stop acting like you're the favorite." I hadn't accused her of anything yet, but her reaction was weird. A week later, my sister spotted something strange on Instagram. Tara had posted a picture of herself at a party, wearing my grandmother's gold bracelet. She had captioned it, "Vintage find." I texted her, "That's grandma's bracelet. Why do you have it?" She replied, "Calm down. I'm just borrowing it. Aunt said I could take it for a while. Don't be so controlling." Borrowing? Without asking either me or my sister? And what about the pearl necklace? When I pushed again, she got nasty. "You don't even wear jewelry like that. It's wasted on you." At least I appreciate it. That was when I realized she'd probably taken all of it. I messaged one of her friends. I asked if she'd seen Tara wearing any pearl jewelry lately. She said yes. Tara wore the necklace to a dinner 2 weeks ago, bragging that it was an inheritance and totally hers now. I confronted her in person. I showed up at her apartment, and at first, she tried to laugh it off. "Wow, you really think I'm some kind of thief? That's hilarious." Then she switched to playing the victim. "You've always been jealous of me. You can't stand that grandma gave me more because she trusted me." I told her to prove it. "Show me the rest of grandma's jewelry if it's really hers." She refused, saying she didn't have to explain herself and that I was turning the family against her. So I did the one thing she didn't expect. I told her I had screenshots of her wearing the bracelet and necklace, plus messages from her friend confirming she'd bragged about taking them. I said I'd give her one chance to confess on video before I sent everything to the whole family. At first, she called my bluff. "No one will believe you. They'll think you're making stuff up like always." Then she started panicking. "Okay, fine. Yes, I took them. Grandma would have wanted me to have them anyway. She always said I had the best taste. I'll give them back if you just drop it." I recorded the entire thing. I uploaded the confession to a private shared folder and sent the link to every single family member. Uncles, aunts, cousins, even her dad, who lives in another country. I included the screenshots and the messages from her friend. The fallout was instant. My phone started blowing up. My aunt called me screaming, accusing me of humiliating her daughter. I calmly told her that if Tara hadn't stolen from Grandma, there'd be nothing to humiliate her over. Some relatives were shocked into silence. Others were furious at Tara. My uncle, her dad, called me to say he was deeply disappointed in her and that she'd embarrassed the entire family. Apparently, he had sent her money for school, but now he wasn't sure she'd even used it for that. Tara sent me a long voice note crying about how I'd ruined her life over a few trinkets. She claimed she'd only taken them because she felt unappreciated and left out. She even said, "You've always had it easier than me. I deserve something nice for once." That made my blood boil. My grandmother made it clear that the jewelry was to be split fairly. Tara didn't deserve more just because she thought her life was harder. 2 days later, my sister got a knock on her door. It was a courier delivering a box. Inside were all the missing pieces of jewelry, plus a cheap silver chain that definitely wasn't my grandmother's. Now she's cut off from most relatives. She wasn't invited to our cousin's wedding last month. Thought that was the end of it until this morning when I got a thick envelope in the mail. Inside was a formal letter from a law firm. Tara was suing me for emotional distress and defamation. Full story on channel link below.